You understand, Mrs. Parker, the only grounds for divorce in this state is infidelity.
Oh, I know that, Mr. Rhodes. We have the evidence, haven't we, Mr. Yates?
Yeah, sure. You see, Parker registered at the Grand Hotel with a name under the name of Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
John Smith, I suppose.
Sure, you get it. When I told him he had a telegram for Smith, he opened the door, and there they were.
So you should have no trouble at all in getting me a divorce.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Parker. I can't take your case.
Why, if it's a matter of money...
No, not at all. I just don't handle that type of work. Now, you go down the hall to suite 378. Ask for Mr. Keeble. He'll take care of you. Just tell him I sent you.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. You may go to lunch, Miss Adams.
Thank you.
COD for Mrs. Rhodey.
Just wait a minute. Here's a COD package for Mrs. Rhodey. Shall I accept it?
Certainly.
It's $149.50.
How much?
$149.50.
Well, give him a check.
All right. But it leaves us with practically nothing in the bank.
Well, Ted, we'll make up for it somehow.
Not if you keep on refusing business, we won't. Why did you turn down Mrs. Parker?
Can't you guess?
No.
It was all prearranged. The whole thing was a frame-up.
Collusion.
Exactly. I wouldn't take the case if it paid for all the COD packages on Earth.
Well, we have to pay for them somehow.
It's only $149. Oh, pay it. Most likely it was a bargain Mrs. Rhodey couldn't refuse.
That's the fourth pair of lips you've ruined this afternoon.
Well, why not make it 5?
Oh, by the way, I have a bone to pick with you.
What's the matter?
Why is your office asking me for more margin?
Oh, if that's all that's worrying you, forget about it. I'll take care of it.
Oh, you are a darling.
Are you busy?
Come in, Cable.
I want to thank you for sending the Parker woman to me.
No, mention it.
Here, take a look at this. The old man's your client, isn't he?
Yes.
Do you know this Polly's dame is making a mess of his son's life?
Well, what about it?
The old man would pay plenty to get her out of the family, but it's not so easy. This dame's too smart to pull any monkey business now that she's hooked the kid. But she might get sort of careless if Papa Man Buck gave her a bonus.
Are you suggesting that I helped frame a case?
Sure, why not?
Because it's subordination of perjury. I don't win for that sort of thing.
Well, is it your fault if the law sets up infidelity as the only crime rewarded by divorce? If the law demands infidelity, then let's give them infidelity.
That's a great speech, Keeble. But I'm a lawyer, not the jury.
Think of the money that's in it.
Are you married, Keeble?
What for?
I thought so. I have a wife and a daughter. I couldn't go home to remember that kind of money.
My mistake.
Good evening, young lady. Is your mother at home?
Mother, here's a gentleman to see you. Find out who it is. Who's calling, please?
Will you kindly tell your mother it's her husband?
He says he's your husband, Mother. Well, in that case, perhaps we should ask him to stay for dinner. Mrs. Rhodey and her daughter would like very much...
Thank you for the invitation. I'm famished.
Judith, dear, go and find out if dinner's ready. Yes, Mother. Darling, you know what you're going to have for dinner tonight?
Of course I do. My favorite dish, turkey hash.
Oh, how did you know?
A little COD bird told me.
Oh.
Sorry, Helen. I'm afraid you'll have to put up more margin.
But they want $3,500.
Well, I'd take care of it for you if I could, but every cent I have is tied up in that stock, too. But don't let it worry you. It's bound to go up.
Are you sure?
Well, if I didn't think so, I wouldn't have bought so much for my own account.
Well, if you feel that way about it, I'll give you a check. Hello, darling. Busy?
Well, this is a pleasant surprise.
Darling, there's something I have to tell you.
All right, how much is it this time?
Promise you won't be angry.
All right, I promise. Excuse me, then. Hello? Yes. Hello, Westwood.
Sorry, but Mrs. Rhodey's account's overdrawn again.
How much? How much? $3,500. You sure there isn't?
No mistake. It's for $3,500.
You hold it. I'll take care of it.
Yeah, I was just going to tell you all about it.
Why should you write a check for $3,500?
Because they told me the market was bound to go up.
But what's that got to do with it?
Well, all my friends were making money, and I thought,
You mean you didn't think? Did you know you were writing a bad check?
I was sure the market would go up and everything would be all right.
Well, what right have you got to play the market? You know how hard up we are.
That's just it. You said you needed money. I was only trying to help you.
Well, I don't know where we're going to raise it. Unless we sell those bonds we set aside for Judith.
We can't do that.
I know it's going to hurt, but what else can we do?
We can't sell those bonds.
That check must be made good by tomorrow.
I know. But I've already used the bonds.
You realize the position you've put us in?
I never thought it'd turn out like this. I'll tell him it was all my fault. I'll take the blame.
All right, all right. You better go home now, dear. I'll take care of this somehow.
For Pete's sake, what's the matter with you?
I need money, Keeble. I have to get it right away.
Will a couple of hundred do?
I need $3,500.
Thanks for the compliment.
You remember what you were saying about Van Brunt?
Sure.
How can we handle it?
Well, all you have to do is to get old man Van Brunt and the dame together.
Considering everything that's happened, Mrs. Van Brunt, don't you think a quiet divorce could be arranged?
Why, Peterkins and I are mad about each other. Our married life has been one long honeymoon.
Yeah, well, it won't last much longer. I'm cutting him off without a cent, and you won't get another penny of my money.
It's perfectly all right with me, Papa. I can always go back to my career.
You think you could earn enough money to support both of you?
Certainly I can. But I love Peterkins so much, I couldn't bear to see him become a kept man.
That's very considerate of you. And I assure you, Mr. Van Brunt will show his appreciation in a fitting manner.
It'll break my heart. But if you'll have Peterkins make the arrangements, I'll file suit.
You know the boy will not give you grounds for divorce for the darn fool who's in love with you.
But, Papa...
I am not your papa.
I'm sorry, Papa.
We thought a little gift of $10,000 might induce you to provide the necessary grounds.
You want me to blacken my reputation? I wouldn't think of it. For less than $25,000.
That's highway robbery.
But think what it'll do to my career, Papa.
I am not your papa.
Until I'm divorced, you're my papa.
All right. Give her the 25,000. It's worth it to have her stop calling me Papa.
It's okay by me, Papa.
You understand what you're to do?
Yes, sir. I'm perfectly acquainted with the details. It will be at the Metropole Hotel tonight.
That's right. Oh, this is Mrs. Van Brunt, Jr. Mr.
Call me Smith. John Smith.
How do you do?
This is Mr. Van Brunt, Sr.
How do you do?
I think that'll be all just now, Mr.
Smith.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Quite a homebody, aren't you?
I believe there's a place for everything and everything in its place.
So do I. Here, put this in its place.
No, thank you. I never drink when I'm working.
Remember, all work and no play never got Jack anything. Oh, well, here's everything in its place. You won't refuse a gala dance, would you?
Van Brunt, I'm no gigolo. Now, I'm not paid to dance with you. I'm paid to, well, I'm just paid.
All right.
Please, Miss Van Brunt, I wish you wouldn't do that.
Oh, come on, Dad. Please, please.
Please, I never mix pleasure with business.
No, what are you doing here?
You must know I'm working my way through college.
Oh, getting an education, huh? Well, it's about time you learn what every young boy should know.
Please, I ask you not to... Mrs. Please, I ask you not to do that. Remember, young lady, I'm a respectable married man.
What are you doing?
What am I doing? I'm going home.
You can't do that. What'll I do when my husband comes?
Should have thought of that before. I'm not going to stay here and be insulted.
You can't walk out on me. That's wonderful, darling. Seems too good to be true. Do you think it'll continue to go up?
The day was only the beginning. I told you that stock was due for a ride. I'll make $500,000 out of it. Do we, celebrate?
Tomorrow at the same time. Mm-hmm. Good night, darling.
Who was it?
Only the dressmaker. I've arranged for a fitting tomorrow.
Uh-huh.
Judith, I think it's time for you to go to bed, dear. Just as soon as we finish the puzzle, Mother. I'll go. Isn't that perfectly stunning? Oh, I'd love to have a coat like that.
Yes, it's very pretty.
I've got to see your father right away, young lady. I want to see you, Rhodey.
Oh, hello, Mr. Van Brunt.
Good evening.
How do you do? This is very important.
Won't you sit down?
Good night, Daddy.
Good night.
Good night, Mr. Van Brunt. Good night, Mother.
Rhodey, you've got to do something.
What's the trouble?
My daughter-in-law has just telephoned me. She's alone.
Well, where is she now?
Still at the Metropole Hotel, room 416.
Well, what happened to the man?
I don't know, but you've got to get someone up there right away.
Well, I can't get anyone at this hour. You'll have to postpone it.
That's impossible.
Why?
My boy is due there most any time now, and I don't know where to reach him.
Well, what can I do?
You started this thing. Now you finish it. Go up there yourself.
That's absurd.
If my boy finds his wife alone, he'll suspect what's happened, and we'll never get the divorce. You've got to go up there.
I can't do that. My wife, my daughter. The whole thing is out of the question.
Listen to me. I gave you $3,500 to get this divorce. Now you go and get it.
All right.
That's the spirit. Good night, Mrs. Rhodey.
Can you imagine that gigolo making a pass at me?
Oh, so that was it. Well, don't worry. For the next 30 minutes, I'm John Smith.
So you're John Smith, and I'm Mrs. Smith. You know, we Smiths ought to get together. Have a drink?
No thanks.
Want to dance?
No thanks.
Say, you working your way through college, too?
College? I graduated years ago.
Thank heaven for that. Have you got a light? You know, you're much nicer than the other Smiths.
Just a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, I'm a respectable married man.
You too? Say, and I thought getting a divorce was going to be a lot of fun.
Who is it?
Telegram from Mrs. Smith.
That's him. Unlock the door.
Yes, Master.
Haven't you got the wrong Smith?
Mrs. Rhodey, do you know this man?
Yes. That's Frank Rhodey, my husband.
Please observe Mr. Rhodey is here with a woman that's not his wife. Note the state of undress of both parties. That'll be all.
Judith. Judith!
I've had as much of this as I can stand.
I'll go home to Mother.
Well, that's better bring the old battle axe here.
I'll get a divorce.
Good. I'll pay for it.
If I get a divorce, I'll pay for it myself.
Oh, no, you won't. It's my pleasure, and I'll pay for it.
Rhodey and Keeble's office. Mr. Rhodey, who's calling, please?
Oh, Mr. Rhodey, they're having an awful battle. A divorce? Yeah, and they both want to pay for it, too.
Mr. Rhodey, Gordon Brown is in room 422 with a woman. Ah, she's not his wife.
Yes, Mr. Rhodey. The boyfriend's here and he's high-eyed. What'll I do now?
Just a minute. Rhodey and Keeble's office.
Thank you. I'm waiting for Mr. Rhodey to decide the matter. Yes. Okay.
Mr. Keeble, Mr. Vale just telephoned confirming his appointment. He's on his way here now.
Thank you. Have Miss Adams notify me the minute he gets here.
Yes, sir. Mr. Rhodey will see you in 10
3:30 sharp. Morning, Mr. Keeble.
Morning.
Regarding my fee of $10,000 in the case of King versus King, I beg
Frank
to
Rhodey. Frank Rhodey. That's all I see. What's the matter? Ain't I a member of this firm?
Well, the stationery says Rhodey and Keeble, so you must be a partner.
Then we gotta fire that publicity man.
Why? What's the matter with him? He's doing all right.
Yes, he's doing all right for you. I do all the dirty work. You get all the glory.
That's because I handle all the big cases. They make news.
Don't the newspapers think that a poor man's entitled to a divorce?
Certainly, but not to headlines.
Mr. Keeble, Mrs. Vale is waiting for you in your office.
I think this is a big one, my boy.
Well, go to it. So this one has come back too.
Why don't you go up to Northampton and pay your daughter a little visit?
I have, but she refuses to see me.
Doesn't she realize how much she's hurting you?
Oh, it isn't her fault. Her mother has poisoned the child's mind against me.
Maybe things would be different if you got out of this business.
And start dodging the landlord again? Oh, no. No thanks. There's only one way to whip the world, and that's with money. Look, Frank Rhodey, all over the front pages. Why? Because I'm in the money. I'm going to make so much money that every time that ex-wife of mine hears my name, she'll cry.
Yes? Mr. Becker.
Hello, Becca. Yeah. I don't care what your client thinks. She'll take what we give her or nothing at all. Yeah. All right, we'll send him over. Have the Harmon case paper sent over to Becker right away.
Hello there, honeysuckle. Good morning, good morning. How are you, baby?
No, you can't see him.
Now, wait a minute. Am I his press agent or am I his press agent?
He's busy.
Well, I tell you, I gotta see him. This is colossal, gigantic. It's absolutely stupendous.
All right, brainstorm. What is it this time?
Picture this. Broadway at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Thousands of cops lined up alongside of the sidewalk to keep the crowds back. And riding right down the middle of the street in a great big white automobile is the Siamese twins.
The suspense is killing me. Tell me quick.
Don't you get it? The Siamese twins with a great big sign reading, "We are the only living couple that Frank Rhodey can't separate."
No, it'll never do. It's too conservative.
Well, I can do better. I can do better.
No, you don't. It cost us $2,000 to square your last big idea. What are you trying to do? Land us all in jail?
Oh, why? Why did I ever leave that circus?
That's just what I'd like to know.
Are you busy?
No, come in.
Mr. Vale? Mr. Rhodey.
How do you do, Mr. Vale?
How are you, sir?
Won't you sit down?
Thank you.
Well, Mr. Vale, what can I do for you?
Mr. Rhodey, my wife has just had a baby and I want a divorce.
I thought I knew all the reasons, but this is a new one.
But I haven't seen the woman in 2 years.
Well, if you do get a divorce on those grounds, do you realize that you brand that child for life?
I don't care about that. Everyone knows that my wife kicked me out over 2 years ago. We've been living apart ever since.
All right, Mr. Vale. I'll take your case. My fee is $20,000.
$20,000? What do you think I am?
That's my fee. Take it or leave it.
Well, it's a hold-up and I won't pay it.
Good day, Mr. Vale.
Good day. Have you gone nuts? That case wasn't worth over $5 grand.
I know that. That's why I asked $20,000.
What's the matter? Don't you want any business?
How many times have I told you I will not take a case where children are involved?
Yeah, but this case was a pushover. There was nothing to it.
Think what it'll do to that baby.
The evidence in this case is so strong that even the whole Supreme Court couldn't do anything for that kid.
I bet I could.
Oh, you think you can perform miracles?
In this case, I think I can. I'll bet that I can give that baby Vale's name.
I got 1,000 that says you can't.
It's a bet. Your husband says, Mrs. Vale, he hasn't seen you in 2 years.
It's been over 2 years. 26 months.
He also claims that he is not the father of your child.
That's the very idea.
Of course, we know his claims are ridiculous. But he is the father of your child.
Well, if you say so, I guess he is. Why, of course he must be.
In the past year, you visited him about 5 or 6 times.
I wouldn't visit that buzzard if he
You
was...
visited him about 5 or 6 times in the past year.
I couldn't stand the sight of him that often.
Then let's make it 4 times.
All right. So I visited him. But where?
In his apartment. The Hamilton Hotel, Suite D.
Has anything been changed in this room recently?
No, sir, not since I've been here.
And I want you to remember everything that's in this room, even if you have to write it down.
Can you imagine? I was dumb enough to give him those etchings.
How long have those pictures been on the wall?
Ever since Mr. Vale's been here, about 2 years, I guess.
And have you been here all that time?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Vale entertained ladies here, too.
Yes, sir. Lots of them. I've seen them.
Do you recognize this lady?
I guess so.
What makes you think that you recognize her?
I don't know.
You remember her because she is the nice lady who gave you a $5 tip every time she called.
I don't remember.
Oh, sure you do. Nice, new, crisp $5 bills just like these. Go on, feel them.
Sure. I remember her.
How do you remember Mrs. Vale?
Well, if someone gave you a $5 tip every time they came up, you'd remember her, too.
How many times did Mrs. Vale visit her husband's apartment?
4 or 5 times.
4 or 5 times. If it please your honor, may I have the etchings which have been received in evidence? Thank you. Did you ever see these pictures before?
Yes, sir. They was hanging on Mr. Vale's wall.
How do you know those were the pictures?
So if you'd had to dust them every day for 2 years, you'd know them, too.
Your witness.
No questions.
Thank you. That'll be all. Mrs. Vale, please.
Tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth for help you God?
I do.
Be seated.
Mrs. Vale, do you and your husband live together?
We've maintained separate apartments, but I visited him occasionally.
Where did these visits take place?
In his apartment, the Hamilton Hotel, Suite D.
Can you prove this statement?
Why, yes.
How?
For one thing, by the etchings on his wall.
Etchings?
But you see, every time I visited my husband, I signed my name and the date on the back of one of those etchings. Sort of a register, don't you know?
Mrs. Vale, when was your baby born?
October 3rd.
October 3rd. Your Honor, will you please observe that the date on the back of this picture is January the 5th?
This court has heard enough. I have never seen a more cowardly attempt to defame the name of a good woman and an innocent baby. Plaintiff will pay court costs and $1,000 a month for the maintenance of his wife and child. Petition denied.
Your Honor, I thank you in the name of defenseless womanhood. I'm just too thrilled for words.
I bet you can't do it.
Come on, one more. Come on, that's all. All right. Not so hard.
Is Mrs. Wilson in?
Who shall I say is calling? Will you come in, please?
Thank you.
Judith. The sweetest girl in all the world. Happy birthday.
Well, I think you better see him. Wait.
Yes, sir.
Will you excuse us, please? No friend of your mother's.
Hello, Frank.
Hello, Helen. You're looking very well.
So are you. Success seems to agree with you. You met my husband.
Oh, yes. How are you?
How are you?
This is Judith's birthday, and I brought her a little gift.
That's sweet of you, Frank. I'll give it to her.
I'd rather give it to her myself. I'd like to see her.
I'm afraid she won't see you.
You haven't the right to keep her away from me any longer. She's 18 today, and old enough to make up her own mind.
I'll send Judith in.
Oh, thank you very much. You know what it means not to see your own child in over 3 years.
I've never tried to keep her from seeing you.
Then why did she return all my letters unopened?
When children make up their minds, you know how stubborn they can be.
That's a lot of nonsense. You made up her mind for her. You know you did.
Did you want me, Mother?
Judith, dear, I brought you a little birthday gift.
That's kind of you, but I'd rather not have it.
But Judith,
How can I accept anything from you? How can I even respect you after what's happened? I tried to save you, Miss Frank. I was afraid of it, Captain.
see if you can get her to take it.
But she'll know it's from you.
Well, I want to do something for her.
She won't take anything from you, Frank.
Does she have to know it's from me?
What do you mean?
Let Judith think you're doing it. I'll give you a check. You know what, together. Will you?
Yes, I'd be delighted.
COD? No, sir. It's paid for. Will you sign right there, please? Thank you.
To make her understand how unfair it is not to see you. Judith has a lot of your stubbornness, you know.
I saw her on the avenue today. She looked lovely.
Clothes do make a difference.
She has no idea where the money comes from.
She doesn't even suspect.
Good, then we can keep it up.
Where have you been?
Why, dear, what's the matter?
Don't give me that dear stuff. Where have you been?
Well, just because I had dinner at Maud, you needn't yell at me like that.
I phoned Maud. You weren't there.
What do you mean by spying on me?
This has been going on for weeks. I've been running around with.
There's nothing to get excited about. I can explain.
Well, go ahead. And while you're at it, explain where you've been getting these new clothes.
How silly you are. I bought them with money saved from my allowance.
Your allowance? Why, since the first break in the market, I haven't given you enough money to buy a paper of pins. It's bad enough to play me for a sucker, but don't insult my intelligence.
Ah, there, Cherryola?
No, he's busy.
No, now, wait a minute. Am I his press agent or am I his press agent?
Oh, you're his press agent.
But listen, I've got to see him, I tell you. This is stupendous. It's colossal.
You forgot. Gigantic.
Did I? All right, then it's gigantic. Listen, tonight, Nora White goes to the chair. Can you imagine? There's the little green room, and in the center, the prickly stool. She comes in, and shh, suddenly a silence comes over the whole place. Thousands of newspapers are waiting to send her last words out to an anxious world. I got it all fixed. She makes a statement. She says, I tried to get a divorce, but I failed. I had to get rid of him, so I killed him. This never would have happened if I'd have gone to see Frank Rhodey. Oh, honey, can't you see those headlines?
Yes, see Rhodey and save yourself a shock.
Not bad, not bad. I'll use that. Yes, sir, I will.
No.
Oh, now listen. Do I have to have my blood tested to see that guy? Our friend, see Rhodey and save yourself a shock.
Just a moment, Mr. Wilson. I'll tell Mr. Rhodey you're here.
Thank you.
Mr. Wilson to see you.
Wilson? Which Mr. Wilson?
He's the Mr. Wilson.
Oh, you mean my wife's husband?
Yes.
Send him in. Well, hello, Wilson. How are you? Sit down. What can I do for you?
I suppose you're surprised to see me, Rhodey, but I'm fed up. I've had just about enough.
What's the trouble?
My wife. I won't stand for it any longer.
Why tell me?
I want a divorce.
Well, how did this come about?
Well, recently, my wife has been buying a lot of new clothes. Furs and things.
Extravagance doesn't constitute grounds for a divorce.
I know. But in the past year, I haven't been able to give my wife much money. I'm not paying for those things.
Who is?
Well, she must be getting the money from some other man.
That doesn't necessarily prove that she's unfaithful.
You know darn well a man doesn't buy a woman clothes just to see her in them.
Well, Helen may be silly about money, but even that doesn't prove that she's unfaithful to you.
If a woman cheats on one husband, she'll cheat on another, won't she?
I suppose so.
Well, she did it to you, she'll do it to me.
You knew this when you married her, and yet you come to me for a divorce?
Well, you make a specialty of this sort of thing. And you know Helen so well, I thought you could handle it better than anyone else.
Sort of keeping it in the family, eh?
Little.
Take care of the house?
It's not too large.
Can you cook?
I can make fudge.
Swell. That's my favorite dish. What would you do in your spare time?
Dance if I had a partner.
You've got one. Let's go.
Now, let's see.
Suppose we leave it to you, Theodore.
Yes, Mr. Rhodey.
What do you say?
Why not?
Thank you.
Will you pardon me?
Well, certainly.
Bob, take me home.
What's the trouble? Is there anything I can do?
No, no. Just wait for me at the door.
Oh, waiter.
Yeah, honey. This is fixed up.
Mother.
Oh, hello, dear.
Mother, how can you?
Don't be silly.
After what he did to you.
Judith, I don't need your advice.
But after all the things you've told me about him,
I don't want to hear any more.
I think it's a disgrace for you to be seen with him.
You little fool. Why, he's paying for the very clothes you have on. So don't let it worry. If you don't mind, my dear.
I beg your pardon.
Are you sure you're all right?
Yes, I'm all right.
What's the matter, Judith?
There's nothing the matter.
Is it something I've done?
Of course not.
Maybe it's something I haven't done.
Don't be silly.
Tell me, what's troubling you?
Something terrible's happened. I can't go home.
Don't go home. Marry me.
I can't do that.
You love me, don't you?
You know I do.
Well, then why won't you marry me?
You're still going to school.
I'll quit school.
I won't let you do that.
Then I'll stay in school, but you just got to marry me. Because you can sew, keep house, and make the grandest fudge.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're very fortunate in having a lot of celebrities with us tonight. And before we start the show, I want you to meet some of them. Now, over here, we have the only man that was ever born looking through a keyhole. Mr. Walter Anderson, the columnist, better known as I Spy. Come on, Walter, take a nice big bow, old boy.
Don't you think we'd better get out of here?
Why?
You're so well known that spotlight's bound to hit us in a few minutes.
All right, anything you say. Where shall we go?
Any place that's quiet.
Oh, you haven't seen my apartment yet, have you?
I know. You just want to show me the view.
On the contrary, I want to show you my stamp collection.
That's not fair. You know I have a weakness for stamp collecting.
Shall we go?
Nice. Oh, this is lovely.
Yes, it is rather comfortable. Will you excuse me a moment? Thank you. Pardon me for changing. I always wear this when I show my stamp collection.
Is this part of your collection?
That's the whole collection.
I never dreamed you had such full apartments.
Would you like to see the rest of it?
I'd love to.
A bedroom like this is positively wicked.
I'm glad you like it.
What's in there? May I peek?
Remember what happened to Mrs. Bluebeard? I warned you.
I don't care. I simply must look.
My own clothes.
And you've kept them all this time.
I couldn't let you go out of my life completely.
I'm so bewildered I don't know what to say.
I'd like to see you in that just once more. Please. To ever let you get away from me.
I never knew you felt like that.
I've always felt like that. Think of the marvelous time we could have together. London, Paris, the Riviera.
Mr. Wilson, do you know this woman?
Yes. She's my wife.
Please observe that Mrs. Wilson's in this apartment with a man, not her husband. Note her state of undress. That'll be all.
That's very nice work. Here's your check.
Thanks, Wilson. And here's your receipt. They saw enough.
Well, that's that. Frank, I'm free. I was a fool, too, for ever letting you get away from me. London, Paris, the Riviera. Mr. and Mrs. Frank Rhodey. We'll start all over again.
Day and Night Bank to cash a check. You recognize the signature?
You cheat!
Yes, liar, cheat, love thief.
Get out and let me dress. Get out!
By the way, I'm shy of correspondence just now. A woman of your experience should do very well. For instance, a job like this pays the girl in the case $100.
Yes? Oh, send her right in.
Will you please go right in, Mrs. Parker?
Thank you.
Rhoda and Keeble.
How do you do, Mrs. Parker?
How do you do, Mr. Keeble?
Won't you sit down?
Thank you.
Now, what can I do for you?
Mr. Keeble, I want a divorce.
What, again?
Oh, not for me. It's for my poor boy, Robert.
What's the trouble?
He's married some little nobody who's after his money. Oh, you've no idea how worried I've been. It just makes me sick to think of my son falling into the hands of an adventuress.
You'd better let me look into this. Where do they live?
At the Somerset Arms.
Somerset Arms. Excuse me a minute. Collins, hop up to the Somerset Arms. Parker's the name. Trail the woman.
Yes, sir.
What is he trying to do? Break up our honeymoon?
Well, isn't it about time?
Oh, so you're getting tired of me already.
You know I'm not. But you do have to get back to school.
Are you happy, dear?
Mm-hmm.
That's the way it's always going to be.
What is it, Max?
Frank, you'll have to take charge of this Parker case. I gotta go to Chicago right away on that Johnson matter.
All right.
Go ahead, Collins.
Well, there's nothing to it. The boy comes down from school every weekend.
What's the wife like?
Oh, she's a quiet little dame. She never goes out much except to the library or the movies.
Any men?
No. A couple of our best-looking lady killers worked on her. She wouldn't even give him a tumble.
Well, she's on the level.
Nothing but.
Tell Adams to come in.
Mr. Keeble wants you.
What's the layout of the apartment?
Perfect. There's a fire escape leading right into the bedroom.
Yes, Mr. Keeble.
Now take a wire. Robert Parker, Hemingway Hall, New Haven. Very ill. Come at once. We'll have car meet the 8:10 train. Sign it, Mother. Send that so he'll get it just in time to meet the train.
Now, Miss Adams, find out what time that train gets in. Telephone Mrs. Parker so she can have the car at the station to meet her son. Tell her I'll be at her house in ample time to explain everything. She'll understand.
Does that mean we work tonight?
Might as well get it over with. Good luck.
Thank you, Frank.
Now then, you know exactly what I want you to do.
Yes. I will do just as you told me.
I thought you were real. What is it?
Your wife.
Now, Mother, we're not going to start that all over again.
I hoped I was wrong, so I sent for my lawyer to talk it over. Oh, Mr. Rhodey, this is my son.
How are you?
How do you do?
Oh, excuse me, please.
Young man, I'm afraid I've got some bad news for you. Your wife is unfaithful.
That's a lie.
While you were away at school, your wife has been entertaining another man.
I wouldn't believe that unless I saw it with my own eyes.
Judith!
You see, Robert? I told you. I told you what she was.
Judith.
Oh. 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 Oh.
Can I just give you the whole bar, please? Rhodey and Keeble?
Is he in?
Yes, he's waiting for you.
I'm in a fix, Max.
It's a tough break, all right, but I don't see any way to stop it.
But she's my own daughter. Ah, what a dirty dog I am.
You're in for this whether you like it or not.
I know. I know.
Sure you know.
What can I do? What can I do?
Now, don't get all steamed up. Maybe we can think of something.
Think? Good heavens, man, have I been doing anything else but think?
Listen, I'll take the whole works in hand. You go away. I'll get you a ticket to San Francisco.
Leave that phone alone.
What you going to do?
I'm going to tell the court that the whole thing was a frame-up. I'm going to smash the case.
You're crazy. That'd mean disbarment. A criminal investigation.
I don't care. I don't care.
You're off your nut, I tell you. Old Lady Parker has the necessary evidence. If we don't handle it, she'll take it to someone who will.
You're right. We have to go through with it. Did you provide a home for your wife?
Yes.
Where was this home?
The Somerset Arms apartment.
What happened on the night of October the 12th?
I came home and found my wife with another man.
How was your wife dressed?
In pajamas.
Was the man fully dressed?
No.
Your witness?
No questions.
That's all. Judith Parker.
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Take a stand, please.
What is your name?
Judith Parker.
What was your name before you were married?
Judith Wilson.
Your parents were divorced, weren't they?
Yes.
And the grounds of infidelity?
Objection, Your Honor. The question is irrelevant and immaterial.
Your Honor, the question is relevant and material. I'm merely attempting to prove that the product of a vicious environment is very likely to be vicious itself.
Objection sustained. Please strike it from the records. Plaintiff's counsel will confine himself to material evidence.
Were you found in a room with a man on the night of October the 12th?
Yes.
Was this man your husband?
No.
How were you dressed?
I was in pajamas.
Was the man fully dressed?
No.
Was this man your lover?
No!
You mean to give this court to understand that you were found in a room alone with a man in a state of undress and he was not your lover?
I never saw the man before in all my life.
Here is a girl found in a room with a man. Both of them were in a state of undress. Yet she would have you believe the man is not her lover. She climaxes that absurdity by stating she never saw the man before. How do you account for this stranger in your room?
It was a frame-up. He was hired to come there.
My dear girl, you expect this intelligent jury to believe that there could be a man so vicious and depraved as to frame an innocent girl?
Yes.
Gentlemen of the jury, by the widest stretch of your imagination, can you visualize a more preposterous defense
A thief takes material possession. A murderer takes a life. Yet this young lady would have you believe that there exists a criminal whose crime is greater than theft or murder. For he destroys the home, the very foundation of society itself. Why don't you admit that this man was your lover?
He wasn't. It was a frame-up.
You think it was a frame-up?
I know it was.
How do you know?
The man who arranged it told me so.
Why should this man admit his depravity to you?
Because he's my father.
Who is your father?
You are.
Your Honor, there is no reason to continue with this case. Every word of the witness's testimony is true. I admit my guilt.
Mr. Rhodey, I shall recommend that you be disbarred. And furthermore, ask that the district attorney's office investigate your affairs.
Father.